Suhdude, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and welcome to my review of the 9th studio EP from Getter. This one is called Radical Dude. And if you don't know Getter by now, he's been a staple name in the dubstep scene for the last few years. I'd probably say since 2013, when his Thriller EP dropped. That was also the Hollow Point Barely Alive remix was a staple in their career as well, and in the dubstep scene. But since then, Getter's gone a little bit more experimental, and I've definitely appreciated him for that. If you don't remember, I reviewed his debut album, which is a free album, called Planet Neutral later last year. I praised it a lot, didn't get into the album quite as much following the review that I did of that album, but ever since then I have respected Getter a lot more. Getter's been more recently known for having the suhdude meme kind of just everywhere, all over Vine, YouTube, and Facebook and everything with the Nick Coletti Viner. I don't really follow Vine stuff, I just know that suhdude has been extremely popular, and he did make a free single with the suhdude sample in it, and I think this EP kind of follows up well to that, and I would have liked to actually see that track on this EP because it was so freaking mint. Most of this EP is pretty straight hard. There's a couple more experimental tracks on this one, such as Back and Forget It featuring Tree, who featured on a few tracks on the Planet Neutral LP. And for the most part, the more experimental tunes are probably going to be my more favorite ones on this EP, just because I'm not a huge fan really anymore. I can definitely get down to that Terror Squad style dubstep. As an album reviewer, it tends to get a little bit old just hearing those on just about every dubstep album and EP I've heard in the last year or two. Now the main one that you'll hear from that is the track Blood, which is a collaboration with Adair, and for the most part the structure of the track sounds extremely similar to Terror Squad by Zomboy and most of the other tracks that have followed in that pattern. And for the most part, the rest of the EP is pretty unique. Most of it is him delving into the trap and dubstep type of tempos, but he does slow it down a little bit with the Tree collab, as well as the Ghastly collab 666, which I absolutely loved on the Ozlaw Worldwide Broadcast LP. With this EP, I didn't really like it as much in the context of it. It seems a little bit thrown in like, oh, Ghastly and Getter just did a collab on the Ozlaw compilation, let's throw it on this guy, and it doesn't really seem to fit very much, in my opinion. Throw that out and we've got tracks like Back, which I'm not really sure what to think of for the most part because it's heavily vocal chop centered and drum centered, and those seem to drown out what the track could have been, but it's very interesting. It's definitely not one of my least favorites because of its uniqueness compared to the rest of the EP. We've got Rip and Dip, which is your basically standard Getter dubstep, and people who are classic fans of him are definitely gonna love this banger. Forget It featuring Tree is a little bit more chill. You're gonna get the absolutely insane talent by Tree on this one, who I've checked out since the release of the Planet Neutral LP and I absolutely love his stuff. Definitely go check him out if you haven't yet. I already talked about Blood, so In the Cuts is basically like, take your standard 2013, 2014 big room sound and kind of make that into a trap sound without exactly making it sound too festival sounding, and that's basically what this is. It's heavily percussion centered, big hits that are kind of all over the place, and those translate really well into a trap track. I like this one, probably not one of my favorites on the one, but I didn't really dislike it either. So overall, this is a really fun EP, and I think one of Getter's best attempts to date. I didn't really love his Allegiance EP. I think this one's a really good step up and branded really well toward his new audience of people that found him from the suhdude Vine. At the same time, I'm not absolutely in love with this EP, and I'd like to see Getter expand a little bit more on that experimental style. He went with tracks like Back and Forget It, and I think that the EP could have gone there. At the same time, I think that it wouldn't have shown off as well to his new fan base if he wouldn't have used that classic Getter style a few times in this EP. I think the best rating I can give this right now is a 6.5. I love you, Getter. If you haven't listened to the EP yet, go ahead and click the Spotify link in the description so you can check it out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you later. Peace.